Yo, a great Atlanta fire erupted last night, and Antifa's at it again. I don't know why Atlanta, I don't know why now of all points in time, but it involves another autonomous zone, Cop City. Not that long ago, I released the video of the don't send your kids to university, they'll just come back as indoctrinators. It's like, oh, very original idea, Don, but it was two kids that were just, came from upper middle class white neighborhoods and then just came back, nefarious ne'er-do-wells and a bunch of, tattooed weirdos. Okay, they came from this neck of the woods, so what ended up happening overnight? Well, there was a great fire. Somebody lit the largest fire the South has ever seen. Police arrest 6 after violence erupts in downtown Atlanta protests. And we got some videos for this one because it got spicy. Rioters set a police car on fire and smashed windows of various buildings at a protest that turned violent. A violent but mostly peaceful protest because, yeah, those talking points are getting run out again. Fuck, I thought we had a little bit more time before 2024's election cycle would spark up. But, oh well, we're here now. In downtown Atlanta, Georgia, on January 21st, which ultimately led to police arresting 6 people. The latest violence comes after police shot and killed a man on January 18th. So it took them 3 days to Bruh. Okay. Police said they did so in self-defense, that the man had fired at them first and injured a state trooper. Yeah, if that all checks out, then that totally makes sense. Prior to his death, the man was protesting at a construction site of a planned police training facility that critics have derided as Cop City. Yeah, they still haven't been able to flush out. Dude, just get the water hose and just, spray those stinky bitches off of the fucking trees that they're hanging off of. The protest that took place on January 21st in downtown Atlanta started peacefully. I'm sure they did. And then the sun went down and the wackos came out. Makes sense. But suddenly escalated to violence. They chose violence. And they're all just little skinny fucks to begin with. So what kind of violence are they going to choose? With groups of protesters turned rioters wearing masks, dressed in all black. Wow, where have we seen this before? Wow, just peaceful protests that get infiltrated by people wearing all black? Wow. It's just Atlanta's a new location. Actually, no, only when a drunk on parole who falls asleep in a Wendy's parking lot, okay, until that happens, until he gets shot by the police after he wrestled and, tried to take away their firearm. Normally, any of the violence that happens in Atlanta, it's not people that are dressed in black. But yes, they're throwing rocks and lighting fireworks in front of skyscrapers that houses the Atlanta Police Foundation. Shattering large glass windows, they also set at least one police car on fire. And we got pictures and we got videos of all of it because here's the fireworks outside of the police building. It's, yo man, that's a lot of damage that they have right there. They got a revolving door. Okay, so rocks have been thrown through it. Where do you get pieces of concrete? Like, did you have to bring it? Like, normally these people aren't that strong to begin with, so they wouldn't have had to travel that far with the rocks or busted pieces of concrete. And that street looks pretty nice to begin with, and that's a nice-ass building. So the fact that they had to break into that is, oh, fuck Cop City. Wow, man, you're in downtown Atlanta. Do you think anybody fucking cares? But there, yes, Treehouse Antifa. There you go. That's the organization that those stupid college kids just claim to be involved in because they're all just down there fighting the power by lighting a police car on fire in downtown Atlanta. Cool, you're really fighting the system, man, other than just really inconveniencing a bunch of people. There's another angle of the cop car that's right there and the stupid little scooter cop. It's like, what are you going to do? It's like, wow, that's a big fire. And the way that fire is, well, it's like, obviously, I would have thrown something into the back seat that lit it on fire, but also in those vehicles, that's right above the fuel tank, so that's not great. That's really not great, man, and really, really pathetic. But like I said before, they're pulling some fiery but mostly peaceful protest shit, which, again, I don't fucking get. So Fox 5 Atlanta pulls a CNN largely peaceful protest in their news segment about the violent attack on downtown Atlanta by Antifa and far-left extremists. The mayor just confirmed the arrestees were found with explosives. And you know what else the mayor had to say on that situation? Atlanta mayor disputes claims that anti-police riots were violent. they weren't violent, guys. Come on, you just those fires are just there so everybody can go ahead and be warmed by the situation. Okay, those are actually fireworks of celebration and rocks of love. You just need to stop with all of your nonsense. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, Democrat, on Sunday disputed claims that anti-police riots and protests on Saturday night were violent, saying that charges against 6 who were arrested will include domestic terrorism. Okay, that's actually based, but they weren't violent. We're just going to charge some people with domestic terrorism. Justified, but how do you go ahead and correlate the two? Not violent, but it's terrorism. Make that make sense. We got videos. We do have phones, okay? In an interview with CBS News, the Democrat mayor said that Atlanta's police department took swift action within 2 blocks and brought that situation under control during the unrest. Yep, but the damage was already done. Violence stopped, and those 6 individuals were arrested. Yeah, but what about Cop City now? Can you just go ahead and flesh that out? Because that would be great. Take some of those unused fireworks and maybe, get all of those rocks together in a big bag and then just start hucking them over. Just use it as target practice. It's supposed to be a cop training facility. Okay, you need to have good aim. Just saying. Dickens said the violence stopped and those 6 individuals were arrested, and it should be noted that these individuals were not Atlanta or Georgia residents. I see a pattern once again. Okay, why Fed should be involved in this one, okay, and has Antifa been designated a domestic terrorist organization? Have they been put on that list? Because, they've been accused of domestic terrorism. But is Antifa properly designated, or can you do that to a myth or an idea, as Jerry Nadler and Joe Biden have described it? Did a myth set that place, or did the myth set that cop vehicle on fire? Did an idea throw those rocks? I'll let you decide. Right, came after the death of an environmental activist, nothing of substance was lost, who was killed by authorities this week after officials said the 26-year-old shot a state trooper. Word of Saturday's protest, called a night of rage. I think that's what Andy No had down. The initial hour of the demonstration appeared to have been peaceful, and never, ever, ever goes that way. Bro, you're dealing with an occupied zone, which for whatever fucking reason hadn't been cleaned out beforehand, but whatever, man. As peaceful. A few activists shared their memories of Manuel, Tortiago, I don't give a fuck, man. Some dirty, disgusting criminal. Describing him as a member of the left-wing Stop Cop City community. What is that exactly? Speaker said that he had undergone a 20-hour medic course in order to serve as a medic for fellow forest defenders. Yeah, but forest what is this, fucking Fern Gully or some dumb shit like that? Man is like, okay, cool. How many medics do you know also shoot at police, though? It's like, that's all nice. You got this fucking wonderful backstory concocted. Oh, you did a 20-hour medic course. Bro, I've been in longer first aid training sessions, okay? And I wouldn't call myself a medic by any extent. I know how to cut a tourniquet, okay? I know how to, properly back and board somebody who needs to go on a stretcher, but outside of that, man, if I think that I'm going to be, helping out any fucking hippies, tying their leg hair together to make sure that they stop the bleeding, man, they all deserve the people that they get. I'll just say that. Opponents of the training center have been protesting for over a year, why is this allowed to continue? I don't get it. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation said about 25 campsites were located and removed in Wednesday's raid. A mortar-style firework, edged weapons, pellet rifles, gas masks, and a blowtorch were recovered. Terrific! Mostly peaceful, though. Authorities said that Paez refused to exit the tent in a wooded property, and then he ran and shot a state patrol trooper with a 9mm handgun. Was that also recovered? Prompting the other troopers to open fire. Yes, exactly. He's presenting himself as a threat. You deal with it accordingly in a hail of gunfire. You brought a handgun to a fucking rifle fight, stupid. According to the Associated Press, Paez described himself as a non-binary person. He used they, it pronouns. They fucked around and it found out. The Georgia Department of Public Safety. That seems like an oxymoron. stated that it will not disclose the name of the injured trooper because disclosure would compromise security. Oh, so this is, we fear retaliation by those stupid fucking tree huggers, and our inept mayor is more concerned with posing for the cameras. We've got ourselves another Eric Adams type situation. During interviews, Dickens elaborated on the assaults and said that the charges will range from domestic terrorism to assault. It is violent when someone turns to burn a police car or break windows or have explosives on them, he added. I don't get into names. I don't know all the organizations. Treetop, Treehouse, Treehouse Antifa. There you go. Name it accordingly. I'll let y'all decide who did it. Oh, good. Nice southern charm there with that memeable southern intelligence quotient. Bro, they've been held up for months now at that point. You can't tell me that you don't actually know who's fucking causing all this stuff. There was a raid several days before by your police officers. You can't tell me you can't be bothered to figure out who did this. You don't care about your city. You just care about posing for pictures, raising up black voices, or whatever the fuck else you're prioritizing ahead of safety and security of your city. I just know that they're arrested, of course. And if they come to Atlanta again to wreak havoc, they'll be arrested again in an appropriate amount of time, okay? Whenever we come to clean up our little aspiring tent city. Dickens appeared to be pushing back against reports from ABC and CNN on Saturday and Sunday, which received backlash online. CNN guessed that David Penzer, without providing evidence, claimed that the violence that took place was being instigated by police. Wow. That's a cataclysmically stupid take. Claimed that the violence that took place was, yes, being instigated by police, while ABC News issued a Twitter post describing the unrest as a peaceful protest. Well, Fox News also parroted that talking point. Yes, those individuals that are protesting against Cop City, as they call it, it's really a public safety training center, Dickens told CBS, and they don't want to see the very things that they are asked for more police training. Yeah, that's hilarious. We just need to defend the police because we want to be able to run amok out there, okay? We don't need smarter cops. We don't need more capable cops. We just need fewer cops. Are you going to listen to these people? Georgia Governor Brian Kemp denounced the violence and thanks responding officers. What a bitch. Violence and unlawful destruction of property are not acts of protest. Wow, thanks, Tips. So glad that you won your re-election. Good point. There are crimes that will not be tolerated in Georgia and will be prosecuted fully. Well, it might ultimately be up to you and your office to collaborate, especially if they figure out where these other Antifa cells came from. Maybe they came from other Democratic strongholds. Check this out. Son of Democrat House Minor Whip, Katherine M. Clark. So one of the top dogs that's out there. Arrested for assaulting a cop during a Boston Antifa event. Wow! You can't make this shit up, kids. The son of House Democrat Minority Whip Katherine M. Clark was reportedly arrested during an Antifa riot in Boston, Massachusetts, after allegedly vandalizing personal property and charged with assaulting an officer while resisting arrest Saturday night. Is that going to make headlines? That a high-ranking member of the Democratic House, what would that be, your second-ranking Democrat? Her son is a member of Antifa. Anybody going to talk about that? Fuck no, because he's not Republican. According to the Boston Police Department, at about 9:30 p.m., officers responded to a protest at the Parkman Bandstand Monument, located in the Boston Common. Upon arrival, officers observed an individual defacing the monument with spray paint. Oh, the big dick? Tag read, "No Cop City," and "All cops are bastard." Very, very original. Phrases are commonly utilized by anti-police, Antifa activists, including ones riding in Atlanta's autonomous zone. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why Boston would have a no-cop city. That doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense, but to each their own. Suspect was later identified as Jared Dowell, 23, of Melrose. Antifa Watch pointed out that the suspect is likely the child of a Democratic politician. According to the online biography for Representative Clark, a Jared Dowell was listed as her child. Yeah, high likelihood, survey says. During Dowell's arrest, a group of 20 protesters surrounded the officer while screaming profanities through megaphones, said the department. This was taking place on a public street, causing traffic to come to a standstill, according to the statement. While interfering with the arrest of Jared Dowell, an officer was hit in the face and could be seen bleeding from the nose and mouth. A BPD added that Dowell was successfully placed under arrest. Hey, round of applause for that. Congratulations. He was charged with assault by means of a dangerous weapon, a destruction of or injury of personal property, and damage of the property by graffiti and tagging. Mix those words up a bit. Dowell is expected to be arraigned in Boston Municipal Court, and then it'll just be, well, you're 23 and also the son of a high-ranking Democrat. You just go on, you little rapscallion. Make sure to take your black mask and all of your black clothing. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. We'll catch you next time. On Saturday night, Atlanta-based Antifa members from all over the country, I wonder if anybody's from Boston, took to the streets to throw rocks and light fires and fireworks, and it was just a gay old time down there at the Atlanta Police Foundation, after the now suspended Atlanta Forest Twitter account called for a night of rage. There it is, following the fatal shooting of one of their worthless fucks, Manuel Esteban Paez Terran. La Cucaracha. Esteban was killed by police after he shot at police officers. Fuck around and find out. Why don't you tag that on some fucking statue, you worthless fucks? God damn it, man. Antifa, back, doing their first hit of 2023. Haven't heard them before this, but you know what? This isn't going to be the last time we're going to hear about this, and it's only going to get worse, because guess what? It's that time of the year again, in the lead up to 2016, at the lead up to 2020. Where the fuck were they? Hitting the streets, calling for the abolishment of police. All cops are bastards. Pigs in a blanket. Fry them like bacon. See if they come up with anything new and original this time around. Chances are, fucking not. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.